right. Well, hi there. I'm Joni Hibden. It's so nice to see you. And what I do is I'm an executive coach. I facilitate leadership development. I do a lot of team building. I love working with organizations. My favorite thing to do is to help leaders become the best versions of themselves, whatever that is for them. So I have a lot of fun with what I do in my career. I started working with methodology when I was experiencing, I'm going to call some disconnection, serious disconnection from my partner. He and I had been together for, gosh, 22, 23 years. And I was feeling serious disconnection and knew that I didn't want to continue walking down that path. And so I didn't know what the path would look like, but, I wasn't quite sure what to do. And so I remember contacting you, Isabel, and saying, I would love to talk with you, get to know a little bit more about the work and the work that you do, because what I am doing today, I don't want to be doing in 20 or 30 years. It no longer felt good. And I would say that my relationship with my partner, it just wasn't good. It had reached the point it was going to reach where well, actually, quite frankly, we were going to probably end up divorcing because it was not a good point for us. And he had asked me to go and do some work with him and then decided at the last minute that he wasn't in for it. And so what I realized at that point was I had an opportunity to walk the path by myself, not knowing whether or not I was going to be on that path at the end or whether my partner was going to be with me. And you know what the end of that story has been. So for me, during the methodology, I was noticing there are these micro moments of noticing like what choice I had in certain moments to do certain things. After the methodology, my life improved, not just for my partnership and my relationship. I mean, that it made such a significant transformation in my relationship that my husband and were doing things that we hadn't done before. We were staying in conversations longer. I remember very early on, there was more connection physically, little things like falling asleep holding hands, which we hadn't done for years, or searching for each other's foot in bed, right? Just to like find our person in bed, even though the beds, we're not that far from each other. But it was after the methodology, what I found is that my relationship was so enhanced with myself that it actually also enhanced my relationship with my husband, which was really lovely. I was able to articulate myself in a more calm, clear manner. I was able to stay with what it was that was important to me and what I wanted, as opposed to, I would say, oh gosh, maybe acquiescing or just letting it pass. So like, I'm trying to think what the words would be. Letting him get his way, which wasn't always the truth, but I had these levels where I would either shut down and it's the word is called in charge. Like I'd keep my feelings to myself and I would contain them here and feel resentment inside, but act as though everything was going on okay outside. And what I was doing was I was giving some false information to my husband by doing exactly that. So that was, before, after, what I was able to do is I was just able to hold my own. And when I say hold my own, it's find my own voice and share my own truth in such a way that while it was shifting our relationship. But what I would say is that my relationship, not only with my partner, but in all my relationships in my life, they got exponentially better, and more loving and slower paced and just more caring. I could feel more deeply. So that's what I've really loved about the after the methodology. I can think of so many different audiences I would recommend this work for. And I think about it in everyday life. Of course, I'm going to start with myself and who I am in the world, but I would recommend this type of work for anybody. In my world, it would be executive women. It would be executive men. I mean, again, I work with a lot of people because I do executive coaching, but I think that the elements of the methodology are so critically tied to human connection, human communication. So there's a piece of the professional world, absolutely. I also think about it in the realm of other industries. Could be education, it could be even the criminal justice system. I think about it, you know, in everyday life, there isn't anybody in this world. I think about children. There isn't anybody in this life that couldn't utilize this kind of methodology to understand how to shift and to know that you have choice to shift between, you know, the language that we use, the red zone and the green zone, or the stress response and the relaxation response. Stress response being so constricted, and the relaxation response being so spacious. I mean, the ability to just know that you can go to and have a choice to go to a different place to begin with your communication and connection is just luscious. For some reason, that word came out of my mouth. It's just luscious. In the realm of this work and how we are all so wired, you know, whether, you know, the all the things that we've learned and the people that we listen to, we are so wired and so predisposed to live in the stress response. So wired. That's what our brains do. And the fact that we are able to make those micro shifts so quickly and have choice about it. You know, do I want to stay here? I remember when the girls were really little, and I may have shared this with you, but waking up in the morning that, you know, they'd wake up and I'd say, "Oh, it's going to be a great day." And they both were like, "You can't say that. You don't know. It's going to be a terrible day." And I'm like, "No, if you wake up thinking it's going to be a great day, it's going to be a great day." And I truly believe that we can have choice. Our bodies will kidnap us, but I think the methodology and the ability to just drop in and breathe for a minute and know within that breath you can choose, holy holy cow, it makes such a significant difference.